Hi everyone! So in this video, I'll be customizing the Corpse Bride and Monster High collab. When I saw pictures of her, you know, I had hope. Okay, so I like her face. I think it's cute. I like how it's like Monster High / Tim Burton, so I kind of want to achieve that when I do it. But it's really just the dress that's throwing me off. It's like a spidery fabric on the top and then 2 layers of like the see-through fabric. And I was really excited about like the base doll since, you know, like it's got the skeleton leg and the flesh leg, but they didn't do like the decaying foot, so I was kind of disappointed. I think the shoes are cool, but like, I mean, yes, I think they're so cool. I think the little dog, like I love him. The tree is cool, I guess. I feel like it would have been cooler if it was like her hand, like her tree branch hand. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with her shoes because if I'm being 100% honest, I don't like the open-toed. I prefer closed, so I might just sculpt some shoes on her when I sculpt her leg. I'm also a little bit annoyed that they didn't give like gloves on this hand. And when she came, her ring was on her middle finger. I was like, what? So I put it on her ring finger. I think the idea of like the little earrings as the maggot, so cute. But they didn't give her her lipstick, especially because she's $90. Like, and I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of the veil. It like kind of puffs out the sides. The headdress is cool. But yeah, so not that my opinion is all that, you know, but I know I'm not the only one who is like disappointed with the price point and the design. Don't get me started on the box. I'm so mad that they used AI when this is an art company. But yeah, I like the front of the box, but the back of the box, oh my god, I just can't even. So, you know, I paid for her, and I want to give you guys a custom, well, I'll be keeping her, but I want to show you guys a custom of something that like can there's potential. So we're gonna start off by stripping her body. So I'm taking off her shoes and this vine thing. I am not a fan of sculpted accessories like this. I hate it, to be honest. It just like the feeling of plastic, like I get for a playline doll, but for a collector doll, like, I don't know. That's just me. So, but I'll be right back with everything removed. Okay, now that we took off that dress, we stripped her down, so now I'm taking acetone or nail polish remover with acetone in it and removing that factory face. I know I said that I kind of wanted to have it like Tim Burton-y and Monster High, but I ended up just making it more accurate, which I'm okay with. I think the only thing that I really liked that they added was like the tiny bit of purple. But yeah, so now that she's stripped, we can move on to sculpting that foot. Yeah, I think this part, like, it's so lazy to me that they just threw on some fabric and then, like, they're trying to say that this fabric is also supposed to be on the arm, but then they don't give it to the other one. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And also, like, this doll was $90. And you saw what we were starting with. And I think it was last year or maybe the year before, they released a 2-pack that was $90. And it was Jack and Sally. I don't have the dolls in person. I am getting them though. I was able to get them from someone on Instagram, and they had theirs and they wanted to give it to someone who I think just would appreciate it more. Or I'm just like, now that I have Emily, like, I need Sally and Jack. And I don't know, for me, I don't like keeping my custom dolls. Like I like my custom ball jointed dolls, and I like this because it's not, like, I'm not going to be able to get this base again. But I don't know, like, my fully custom dolls that I can remake, I don't like keeping those. So that's why I'm super excited to get Sally and Jack, because if I make Sally and Jack, I'm not going to want to keep them. But if I pay for them, and then I do want to make their, like, actual outfits, because I'm not that big of a fan of the outfits that they actually gave them. I want to, it's not the worst, but it could be better. I think there's some parts about it that are really cute, but we'll see once it's in person. And I'll be posting a video of, like, of making those outfits, and maybe I'll probably put a pattern on my Patreon since it's been a while. But anyways, after we went in with our epoxy sculpt, I used a needle to create that heel and blended it in. And once that was fully dry, I can just go in and sand it. I went in with my gesso first, and then I mixed up white with a tiny bit of blue to paint that foot. And obviously, you can see I went in with the option of sculpting the shoes, so those are just going to be white shoes. After I spray the face with Mr. Super Clear, I can go in on her face. I am kind of obsessed with the face sculpt. I think the nose is so cute. I debated, like, cutting the nose so it looks like it's, like, decayed, like how it is, but I couldn't bring myself to. Like, it was just so cute, and I didn't want to, like, make an alteration I can't take back, so I ended up just drawing on the little noses. I'm definitely trying to give her bigger eyes. I feel like the face sculpt has such big eyes, but they didn't use it, so I mean, they usually do that anyways. And then the only thing I'm doing different compared to other Corpse Bride dolls I've done is I'm adding a little bit of purple to her eyeshadow, which is something that they did on the factory paint that I liked. Also, I'm going in with white acrylic paint and just painting in that white, since it's literally going to be white with a dot. We also want to shade the edges, so we're gonna want the sealant to be on there so we can get an even shade. You can kind of see it more here with the hair pulled back. I said that I liked the maggot earrings, and I do, but I don't like how there's, like, the tail, because then it feels like he's going, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but they're going through her head, and it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I ended up taking it off. I did blush it the same as her face, but I ended up taking it off. I'm just going in with pink and making sure to overline her lips because I feel like they kind of made her lips too thin, but that's just my opinion. I'm also making a video of revamping this Corpse Bride doll that I had. Since I'm keeping this one, there's no reason for me to keep 2 Corpse Bride dolls. So I revamped my first Corpse Bride custom and I'm selling her. I made a video for my patrons on how I revamped that, since it's been a little while since I've done a full video for my patrons. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check that out in my link on my profile. Now we're on the second face, or the second layer. So I'm going in with darker colors and just sketching in, and I added in that pupil. I'm also going in with my pastel and shading that eye crease. It was really fun working on like an official Corpse Bride base. I know some people will be like, oh my gosh, like she's $90, why would you do that? And it's just like, well, she's my doll, so it doesn't really affect anyone else. And she was like kind of ugly to begin with, so like, I don't know. Like, I'm glad I got her at the end of the day. I could do this custom without having to like fully sculpt her body and give her a reroot. That's just how I see it. Like, I know some people won't understand like buying a $90 doll and then customizing it, but I don't really care. So I'm just going and shading in. So I'm just going and shading in that little rib cage. I like the rib cage, although I think they could have made it a little bit bigger just because like the fabric will be over it. So when it came to the maggot face, even with sharp pencils, it's a little hard to get those details. So I'm using a wet brush to help get into areas that I can't reach. Now we're on the last layer. I ended up adding an extra layer to just darken up the decayed part on her cheek, but it's mainly just this last layer. I didn't give her top eyelashes because I did eventually glue on some eyelashes. I struggle with putting on eyelashes, so I don't really record it. One of these days I will record it just so you guys can see how I do it. When you work on like multiple dolls and record it, there are some things that like you kind of choose not to record because you know that you're going to record it in the future. I don't know, because like when I watch someone like Delightful, like she'll like show how she does it but then in a future video, like, she won't because she already showed it. That's kind of what I mean. Because with the amount of dolls that I do, like, a lot of the techniques that I do are repetitive. So unless it's new. After I sealed her face, I put her hair into some pipe cleaners for curlers, boil washed that, and we can move on to her outfit. So I got this white fabric on Etsy. This is how I dyed it for my previous Corpse Bride dolls. I basically just do a water mixture with some of my fluid acrylic paint since it's really watery. With other paint, it doesn't really work. I'm not gonna lie, like thicker paint, it won't really work. It'll be too clumpy. But basically, I just wet the fabric before I make this mixture. I put it in, let it soak, and then I let it dry, like all flattened out. So I did do another wash of just black just to help with the gradient, and this is the result. And then that's completely dry. I went in with some acrylic paint and painted those little swirls. I tried something a little bit different compared to the other times, and I really like it. Since I'm making another Corpse Bride doll, I'm so excited to show you guys her. And then I take a wet brush and just use watered down black and just marinate the edges, and eventually the whole thing will be wet, because if you just have dry spots, it'll leave like a crease. And you can see, like, I added white for those swirls, and I did that before I did the watered down paint, and it shows up pretty nice. Like, I really liked it. The thing that I changed with the next doll is that I did a light blue instead of like pure white, and I think that really helped. I went in with the same fabric that I used, layered it with lace, and made her bodice. I basically lined the edges with little seed beads, and I'm using the same watered down black technique to add some of like that worn look to her. While the paint is drying, I also cut out like little holes into the skirt and like raggedy edges, and just trying to make it look worn. I gathered that, glued it directly onto her, and this is how it looks. And then I can also sew that bodice directly to her. I'll glue down points to make sure it sits how I want. I basically made her little crown out of tissue paper, so kind of like paper mache, but not with that much water, otherwise it won't stick to the wire. And I made that the same way for her bouquet. And here she is with all the pieces added. I added a little extra pearls here and there, and I'm just kind of obsessed, and I think she turned out so adorable. Let me know what you guys think down below.